valued participants who are participating today. So we are going to start the Kusud webinar series. It is episode 6, and today we have two presenters. One is Mr. Sudarshan Limbu, who is a MPhil scholar doing his MPhil in STEM education in Kathmandu University School of Education, and another our colleague teacher, uh, Mr. Niroj Dahalsa. So today, actually, what we are going to present is regarding the artificial intelligence and its relevance in contemporary education, and this will be presented by Niroj Dahalsa. And similarly, in case of science education in our community school or in private institutional schools, mostly what we try to do is that we try to find out the material which are brought from outside instead of looking for the locally available materials. So today it will be more interesting because Sudarshan Limbu sir will be sharing his experience about using locally available research materials in science education. So that will be much more interesting. I'm also waiting for that one. And similarly, artificial intelligence have revolutionized the world nowadays, and how this AI can be used in the education sector, that will be also discussed by Nirudal sir. So with the permission of our dean sir, Professor Balchandra Luitel, I'm going to um, invite the first presenter, Mr. Sudarshan Limbusa. You will have 20 minutes of presentation and 10 minutes for the question and answer. And I request all the valued participants to put or to write your questions in the chat box so that we can have a discourse after the presentation of Sudarshan Limbu sir. So over to you, Sudarshan sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Please move on.
Okay.
You can hide this bar. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Respected professor, respected dean, sir, and dear teachers and my dear friends, and whoever the guest teachers are here for my presentations as a visitor. Warm greeting, everyone. Welcome in my presentation. Today, Sudarshan Limbu is speaking here. I'm a scholar of STEM education in Kathmandu University. It is School of Education. And this paper is especially, I have prepared my myself as a action research that I have been selected for the fellowship in Tata Institutes of Social Science that has been held in Mumbai of India. So, uh, regarding this paper, regarding this action research, I have some notions concerning that science teacher. Before that one, a scientist, a teachers, and a science teacher. How I am defining these three terms for this paper is about a scientist is a good at finding and analyzing a scientific data, and a teacher is a good at delivering a content. So, fusing these or combining these two, a science teacher must be a good at delivering concept with a scientific background. So, teacher must have a science teacher must have a good in concept delivery, and then also a scientific background with the scientific background. So, using these notions or using this concept, I have developed this paper, and my this paper is based on these concepts of the science teachers. So, for this purpose, the title of my presentations or my action research is about implementations of the locally available resource in the school level science educations and action research. And for this paper, I want to introduce myself as an activist for constructivist approach, low-cost teaching resources, promoting low-cost teaching resources, and postmodernism classroom settings in a classroom. So I'm trying to promoting these three terms through this paper. And for this paper, while developing this paper, Dr. Sirish Patare from that Mumbai, he contributed as academic mentor, and Dr. Roshni Rajbangsi from Kathmandu University, she uh, monitored me as a field mentor one. So concerning this paper, here are basically six agendas are here: introductions, background, research questions, data analysis, findings, conclusions, and some discussions as well. So, introducing my paper. This paper is conducted under the SET Fellowship of the MATPT project and supported by the Global Partnership for the Education Innovation Exchange joint with IDRC from Canada, and SET Fellowship that is included or organized by the Tata Institutes, and these all are about uh, the paper, origin of the paper, and this paper. Uh, Content for this research, I have selected the content Newton's third law of motions of grade 9, where I'm trying to this paper try to triggering the misconceptions and the correcting them through the action research, and where is developing adequate low-cost materials for the teaching Newton's third law of motions and aiming to change the teaching approaches conventional to the constructive approaches one. An epistemological perspective of this paper is generating knowledge from the reflections for the ontological claim. So these are about the introductions of the paper. Uh, let's let's go to the background and the context of the study. Here, in basically in the context of Nepal, students are far behind the activities based learning and with multidimensional affecting factor because of the multidimensional affecting factors uh, like that their age, and then after the different geographical structure. These are the different affecting factors, and also the teachers' concerns and the resource available for the schools one. So science learning outcomes are not satisfactory. These are according to the NASA Nepal 2018. And whereas a less aware to use the locally available tools are assembles to them, and then after the this is what is being happening these days as well. And teachers trainers often pursued a constructive approaches only, but do not say how this can be. That is a Koirala 2020, and through this paper it is been reported that teachers trainer are also pursuing the constructive approach just by theoretically or by the lecturing only, but practically they are not practicing anymore. That type of a report has been done through this one. And next, students and are nurturing means taking misconceptions about a Newton's third law of motion, like great mass implies a greater force while colliding, and only active agents exerts force. These are the some uh, misconceptions concerning the Newton's third law of motion. According to the uh, empirical review or empirical research review, or also from this pre-test, I have found this type of misconceptions in this research one. So these are the triggered misconceptions, and I'm going to correct this one through the action research. So delivering knowledge in the classroom setting do not culminate with the modern need, or according to the modern need, the knowledge and the classroom settings are not like I say, matching or coinciding to each other. That's why uh, curriculums are in one part and teaching pedagogies are that learning outcomes are in the next part. That means these two are not in coinciding. So and these are what I have, what is the background of Nepal. Now concerning these the problems are these backgrounds of our country Nepal for the science education. Here are the two research questions: that how do teachers transform their pedagogical practice through the use of locally available materials in teaching Newton's third law of motion in grade 9, and how do grade 9 students learn Newton's third law of motion meaningfully and overcome their misconceptions using the locally available materials. These questions has been developed with the contributions of our Indra sir. Thank you so much for this contribution. So these are my research questions for this paper. And then after for the data collections and analysis, the some strategies I have employed for this paper is the participants. There were five teachers, five in service science teacher. All of them are male, and Nepal number of schools are also the five community-based schools, different schools, and three from the urban and two from the remote side in eastern part of the Nepal. And data collection and analysis, I have used tools like that online platform, Google Form, Google Document, recorded interview, observations, photograph, live experience. So live actor means through the observation. And the next one is a method used for the analysis is a qualitative, developing from the reflections, genres, and the interpretation. And quantitative, like the Wilcoxon sign rank test, measure the effectiveness of the interventions or this proposed uh, tools and that teaching pedagogies or a teaching curriculum. Uh, for that effectiveness, I have used this quantitative or Wilcoxon sign rank test. So combinedly, this paper has been analyzed by both qualitative and quantitative method. Uh, okay. For the interventions, the main aim of the intervention is to explore and promoting low cost teaching materials. Exploring means I'm going to find out the new tools for the activities to conduct the activities based classes during the Newton's third law of motion. So next one is the corrections of the misconceptions and the transformations, transforming pedagogies. These are the major aim of this research and world and the interventions also. So the number of action research carried out it after carried out before that carrying that action research, I have conducted that. Um, I conducted that pre-interview or a pre-test or pre-intervent interview for the teachers to find out the existing practices and pre-test to find out the concept regarding to their uh, Newton's third law of motions, whether the misconceptions are being carried by the students or not. So I have carried out this pre-test and pre-interview, pre-interventions interview to the teachers at first, and then only action cycle 1 and action cycle 2 has been conducted. In action cycle 1, teaching professional development workshop 1 has been done, where introducing the paper, and then after the introducing the tools, and then after the workshop for the implementations of that tool, how to apply the tool or how to assemble those tools and how to conduct or what is the role of a teacher inside a classroom while doing the activity. So this has been done in the workshop 1, and after the implementations, and then after the implementations, teacher have to reflect their activity for that qualitative data or anything. So for the action cycle 2, the same type of, but only the difference setting is that in this case or in this cycle 2, teachers are going to implement with the uh, postmodernism classroom settings, on where students have the enough chances for the inquiries or peer collaborations and the peer evaluations also. So interactions to each other and teaching or learning from the known students or forwarded students, those who are already known, and they have to teach to the those who are quite what is that then confused in that activities or whatever. So these are all about the mostly students were active in that in those activity where students peer interventions and the peer evaluations were the most important of that activities when. So that is all about the implementations too, and in that cases from these both teachers reflections and the students post test were taken for the quantitative and qualitative data both. uh, Here, during the interventions, the teachers' engagement in insight from the teachers are aware of locally available materials for the teaching Newton's law. This is all about the in teachers' roles and that what insight the teachers had found during the interventions time, and facilitating and framing hands-on activities. What um, and teachers used to do that when they used to teach that Newton's third law of motions within that 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but using this curriculum or using my this action curriculum or action design, they have to engage more than the 2 periods, or they use the more than 2 periods for the action 1 and action 2, so that when facilitating and framing that hands-on activities were introduced by to the teachers, that was probably the new to those teachers. And the significance of students activities participants in the learning process, what the teachers have found that how students meaningfully engage if they are allowed, and how students they are collaborating to each other, and how they are participating for this learning process one. So these are some insight that teachers have found during the interventions. And accounting misconception concerning Newton's law of motions, yeah, even the teachers also get clear or their background, theoretical background or scientific background has been strengthened during through activities. These activities are through these interventions, and use of syringes to account for the action and reaction. This is the tools that I have. This was the tool what I have proposed for this action research. So, as syringes also can be used as the accounting that force, that means action and reaction during the collision. How? Now look at here, the activities are here. Activities during the interventions. Yeah, the first one is activating. For that activity, the tools, two syringes are required there. Blocking the nozzles of the syringe by one. I have used that blue stick. Glue gun to block that nozzle, and then after the colliding pistons of two syringes. On in the picture also you can see two syringes are been collided there, and for the different with the different purposes, like that applying force by both students, whereas applying force by either students, that means only one students at once. And next one, applying for more forces by either students and moving backward to the next one, those who are applying the less force. That means one is pushing and the next one is also attempting to um, trying to go against it, but applying the less force. So that those who applying that less force, they will get you can move back one. So using this one, what one student is move applying more force and next one is the lowest force. So this means this I'm going to I was introducing that three natures of the collision, where both have the equal forces, or both are in the equal motion, or equal, yeah, equal forces are been with the equal force of motion. And the second one is in the rest and next one is in motion, and next one is the least rest and the second one is the high motion, that in the high speed in motion one. So these all are about here, and some students were assigned as the observer, carefully observes the displacement of the piston in either syringe as well. And also the collider students are those who are volunteered there, are those who are acting contributing for their collisions. They also actively uh, observe the movement of the pistons. And during these activities, what I found that on in every cases, displacement of a piston in both the syringes are equal. So these are what findings from this paper, sorry, during these activities. And now findings, teachers and students were aware about the local level of materials in the learning process, one like that. For this Newton third law of motions, two syringes, even that syringes which can be found in within a 10 or 15 rupees from the medical shop, that is teachers were and students both are aware about this one. And next, students were actively involved in the collaborative learning approach. Yes, and the next one, teachers changed their attitudes toward the teachings Newton third law of motions, or Newton's law of motion. Now they valued the activities what we have done, and similar type of activities toward those activities the teachers change their attitude. That's what the finding. And next, teachers are influenced by the activity based teaching approaches, and because of the effectiveness what that we have found after the post test. Next, the transformations of a teachers also noticed through this actionary cycle, both cycle, like that empowering constructivist approach and disempowering the conditional approach one. And improvement in the generating a concept and the concept based knowledge one. Improvement in generating concept and content based knowledge. So students are also improved their how to get the content, and how to generate the concept from that content one. So these are about the some uh, terminologies, or sorry, some terms related that find concerning to the findings of this paper. Uh, and now look at here, the quantitative analysis or interpretations of the qualitative interpretations of this paper is in the year. The first figure is about the pre-test result, and the second figure is about the post-test result. Pre-test, that means before the intervention. So here we have found that 135 students were participated in the pre-test, and each responded to the seven. Each has to respond. It has to respond to the seven questions, and 26.03% of responses are only corrected out of the others. Out of 135 into 7 responses, 26.03% of the responses are only correct. Whereas in the post test, we have found that 115 students participated in the post test. Nearly after on 1 month later, that means after the both interventions, this post test were taken, and each respondent had to respond the second same seven questions, the similar type of questions, not the same questions but similar type of questions, identical questions were there. uh, but the value or the range, I guess, the strength of the questions or standard of the questions are nearly identical. In that case, 97.89% of the responses were correct, and These through this qualitatively interpretation also we can find the significant sense in the learning of learning Newton's thought law using this action design. But also here to find the effectiveness, I used their quantitative interpretation as well. For the quantitative interpretations, null hypothesis was that interventions of a teaching is not statistically significant of effectiveness, or the median of a difference between scores obtained in the pre-test and the post-test is equal to zero. That means no change or no effectiveness of the interventions. That was my null hypothesis for this quantitative interpretation. Here in graph, the two bar graph are shown here. The first one represents the pre-test data, and second one represents the post-test data. Here, first test shows that normality, but second test is not showing normality for that from that post-test data, because here most of the data are leaned toward the high maximum score one. That's why here a median is greater than that of the mean, so that this research was not suited for the small or a t-test statistical t-test statistic test. That's why I have used there, or we have to use there Wilcoxon sign rank test. And here we can see in this encircled by the red circle here, assumptions are sorry, asymptotic significance are two-tailed test here. We have achieved at 0.00, which means 0.05. That means null hypothesis is rejected. That means we fail to retain the null hypothesis. What does it mean? That we can conclude that the interventions of a teaching in is statistically significant of the effectiveness. That means this we accept the alternative hypothesis. That means in simple language, we have achieved the effectiveness of the action designs what I have designed for the interventions. So these are about the qualitative and quantitative analysis of the paper. Now discussion. Here in the discussion, the whatever I have achieved was not a straight one. It was through the long struggle. That struggle was based on here like that accounting action and reactions by the colliding two bodies. The way of using syringes differed from what I have proposed. That means I could not do the same as I proposed because the instrument said look too much time. That means here I have not introduced that what I have proposed for the activity. Only I have introduce that activity which through which I have got a succeed one, through which I have received the data. What I was proposed in my proposal was really that was morely that was sorry that were morely those were more concerned to the ICT based one, where teachers have some knowledge about the video editing and then slow motion and any type of the ICT knowledge also must have to be held by the teachers, the participant. But that proposed activities were failed, and these activities are also uh, proposed by the participant teachers themselves. And by modifying that activities, I have gone through those activity and I have designed or I have revised my proposed activity, and then after I have assigned according to them in that action one and action two, or sorry, cycle one and cycle two. That I have achieved. That means through this paper I have got to know that when whatever we have to propose, that may not work, and we have to revise it according to this field or according to the perceptions of the participant or whatever. So that is all about one. And therefore, after discussions with my participant, we decided to use the students and collide the observers and everything. So, and the second one is the schedules and that I have made did not work well. That means I have made one time schedules. Within this time you have to complete this, and like that, and a due date and deadlines I have scheduled, but that I have not those were not working at that time. Why? Because due to the different time ability of my participant, and I had to wait and they receive data from them as per their comfort. So this is the second point. The third one is some teachers were unwilling to conduct the second cycles as they were claiming at that time that we were obtain our objectives, so it was unnecessary to conduct it. And so but I have convinced them to allow peer discussions, but in second cycle it is quite different than that of the first one is about the teachers have to demonstrate, and that of the some students can participate for the activity as a demonstration purpose. But in second cycle, students have to have a deep sorry should have the deep participations, and then after the collaborations and peer evaluations as well, like that this type of activity, sorry, this activity, your style or your doing is not correct, you have to do in this way, or why this happening, or this type of discussions also must be there, and the students learn from the discussions and the collaboration. So so that one, after convincing a hard, teachers were available, sorry, for that one, ready for that one. And mentoring students with diverse background was not easy, and strict, yeah, sorry, strategies with developed in the action plan. Sorry, mentoring students, why? Because some of the students were from remote area, that's why students from the different diverse society one. So concerning those active, those environment, the alt mentoring or you can say, motivating students was not uniform. Some have to go, we have to for some cases we have to go for the intense motivations also. Excuse me. Hello. Hazur. Hazur, Hazur. And the next one is about the implications. Implications is about the importance of this application, this research for this, uh, how this research has been implicated for the teachers and students as well. Here, soldier, call as a taking a character to the soldier. Am I correct? Excuse me.
Please go on, go on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, implication. Solza is an innocent girl. Science is an interest, and she questions for. Solza perturbs about why this is so. She gets replied, "This is how I learned so." Solza acquires science is the great, and she sets her mind to misconceptions even though. Solza meets no native learning viewpoint. She feels odd and falls into the dilemma of a disoriented. Salza continues to raise multiple critical queries. She develops and shades a new perspective. Salza is an innocent girl. Salza and science is an interest, and she questions for. So this is the whole, and this through this poem, I try to uh, reflect the struggle of students, okay, how they were perceiving before my interventions, after the interventions, and who, what is my role, and what the teacher used to do that. And that means everything I tried to impose, that I reflected through this poem, whether this was a fine or not, but also here this poem try to reflect the struggle of the students to change her conceptions concerning the Newton's third law of motions. So this is all about to the student side, and to the teacher side, transforming fallible hegemonic thought. That means narcissist personality. That means those who are thinking as absolute approaches for the teaching Newton's third law of motions, or teaching process of irrevocable teaching practices into the changeables one. That means have changed their attitudes and their teaching process one. That's it is possible where teachers disempower their existing practices by experiencing learning disorientation. Disorientations means that they went in dilemma as well, concerning their approaches and the conceptions, and prolonged struggle, nearly a 2 month of engagement with them, and then accommodating the new knowledge and reflecting the lived experience. So this is the mechanism how the teachers can transform, and how that fallible hegemonic thought and narcissistic personality or absolute concept can be transformed into the changeable one. So this is all about the implications of the action research to our student side and to our teacher side. So from this paper, as a conclusion, my prime achievement was about, where like the content is training, like that the teachers strengthened their content concerning the Newton's third law of motion. Next one is pedagogical science or thoughtfulness. And through this paper can help to the other science teachers as well to conduct their perceptions toward the teachings Newton third law of motion, as well as using the tools that I have introduced here. And next one is corrections of the misconception, positive attitudes towards the action plan, and validations of the proposed low cost resources. Why validation? Because I have statistically get the significant effectiveness using these tools for the pedagogical changes approaches. So these are my achievements for this paper, and yeah, reflections and the future directions of these papers, like that absolutisms can be turned into the fallibilisms, and executive to the facilitative approaches one. That this is the transformations. For the transformations of the facilities teacher, such action research is important, and students spaces, that means choice and voice, sharing power control, that means fostering 21st century skills or soft skills. For that purposes also, such type of a design or the curriculum what I have design proposed through this paper is important. And critical self reflections for the transformations, yeah, concerning using the mentor or by the self. So the critical self-reflection for the transformation is also important, and for the purpose of this paper is promoting through. And next one, solving the pedagogical conflict between the purist and the science education, like that. Purist science purists are always going through the used to go through uh, the absolutist approaches, where they do not nearly believe in the qualitative way of teachings or that students also. So this is all about it. For this purpose, action research, this is important. So this is all about my paper. And validated low cost teaching materials, what I am going to introduce or what I want to introduce through this paper, like other low cost teaching materials are like this one, like that electromagnetic induction. These all are the locally available or can be prepared through the low cost resources from that. So, and these all are about my paper. If any questions, then let's go to the query sessions or anything. So,
Okay, thank you very
thank
much,
you.
Sudarshan Limbusa. It was a really wonderful presentation with so many research outcomes that you presented today. Because we are running out of the time and I couldn't see any questions here. I think one question. Please describe the process mechanisms of syringes experiment. Only one question. Please elaborate it on it very quickly. Okay, Sudarshan sir, you can
Okay,
proceed.
yeah. How the syringe have been used in this process here, like the two students are carrying one syringes each, and that piston side, let me zoom here, and the piston side of that syringe is are being collided over here by this way. And here this student and this students both are applying force here, and their displacement of a piston also we can see. Both are applying force, and in both cases that pistons are uh, moving in equal displacement, with the equal displacement. That means the displacement of a piston shows equal here. What does it mean? This for this body, this body is applying force, and then after the that this body is showing reactional force to this body one, and whereas this body is getting reactional force from this one. That means action and reactions are in this case. By this way we have implemented these tools.
Okay, thank you very much, Sudarshan sir. I think if any participants have the questions, Machakaji sir, please contact Sudarshan Limbu sir and then you can discuss with him regarding the further questions. We don't have much time, okay, sir. Please excuse us regarding this. So please stop sharing, Sudarshan sir. And I invite yet another presenter, Mr. Niroj Dahal sir, to share your slides and start the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Indra sir, and good evening to all of you present here. So today I take a challenge to say something about AI and its use in our education dimension. So I do hope I try my best to incorporate some of the emerging issues that are being emerged in this field. So I have a few slides that talk about uh, this AI. So let me share. So today's talk is one of the the pop-up topics that comes everywhere. So like AI. So and how we could able to use this AI in our contemporary education system. So I will share some of my experiences, and also I will try my best to make you aware about the use of AI in different areas, its limitation, its challenges, and it's also create some opportunities, and you can grab this. So the title is like using AI in contemporary education, how AI is transforming the way we learn. So this sharing is based on these questions. So you can see 7 questions are here. So very firstly, I try my best to make you aware about AI and its little history, and how can we ensure that AI is used in fair and equitable way in education system, and how we could able to benefit it from that by just working as a hard way to smart way. So what are the benefit and challenges, and how we could able to prepare for ourselves with the help of AI in 21st century, and then what are the ethical considerations that you must avoid while using AI, and also the future trend of AI in education setting. So these are the 7 questions that comes around my sharing. So can some of you or all of you can just write what is your understanding on AI? So AI is like the artificial intelligence. So I am just expecting some of your response in the chat box. So can you post your answer in the chat? Okay, let me just check. Machine machine intelligence. Okay, only one. Okay, they are. I think it's take time to type and post. Okay, the hot topics. Yes, Chat GPT. Yes. Okay, I'm moving little forward. So as the time is running. Okay, yes, Rajendra Dal sir. Ability of computer system to perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence. Okay, make machines that can solve problem. Okay, you are all at right at this stage. Okay, if I say and what I find in some of the resources, like this comes from the use of the technology, especially computer science. And nowadays in wartime also people are asking about the war strategy in AI system. So that is also being dealt. So deal with the creation of intelligence agent. So in 1956 at first at Dartmouth College they discussed about the future of AI, and from that side the this AI is pop up. It also like this is also the system that can reason, learn, and act uh, mostly. That means autonomously. So it run in smooth way. Successful in developing effective technique for solving a wide range of problems, from game playing to medical diagnosis. And even in medical sector we can see various this AI tools, and even now in education sector in general, and even in for other sector we have been seeing much a lot that text generating AI or chatting AI in this field. As the Deepak Bashar sir also just mentioned about Chat GPT, that is one. There are other as well. And also this is all about machine learning, and also it is the like as a natural language processes and computer vision or some form of the robotics. So it also attempted to analyze and interpret vast amount of data, recognize pattern, and make decision and solve complex problems that are arising in our setting. So AI in contemporary world, we can see AI has been integrated in business, trade, commerce, industries, banking, finance, healthcare, even in education sector. So my focus will be on education sector. So here, if you see some of the AIs that has been used are like the, if you see our simple device, mobile device, there is facial detection and recognition that has been also used as one form of AI. You can see some text editor and auto correction even in your mobile devices and in other devices. You can see, you can find that one. So source and recommendation, certain algorithmic pattern you can able to find. E-payments, that when we pay for the amount that that AI generated tool directly take you to some areas. So chatbot. So if I show you one example over here in this presentation, just if that is much on digital assistance, but you see just in mobile device. Hi Google, can you say something about AI in education?
Here is some information for how artificial intelligence used in education. According to University of San Diego online degrees, tutoring, AI systems can gauge a student's learning style and pre-existing knowledge to deliver customized support and instruction. Grading. Sure, AI can help grade exams using an answer key, but it can also compile data about how students performed and even grade more abstract assessments such as essays.
Okay, this is just the example that we can use the various platform. So we can, even in a map and navigation they have used AI, even in math solver, some app that we can find in from the Microsoft that also have some AI features. Even in photo math they do have certain AI features. So we can find everywhere about AI. So but the most pop-up AI is coming now. So if I just write the some question to the three most prominent or the hot areas that are being pop up are like, last one is from Chat GPT, second one is from Google Prad, and first one is from Microsoft Bing. So who are you? I just asked this question. So first response you can see there. I am machine, not a human, but using AI, I can chat with you. I am here to help you find answer, create content, provide summaries on a varieties of topics and more. So I just read that one. So if I just ask same question to Google Brad, so it says like, I'm Brad, a large language model, also known as a conversational AI or chatbot, trained to be informative and comprehensive. So if I ask same question to Chat GPT, I'm Chat GPT, an AI language model developed by OpenAI. I'm here to provide information and assist with various topics to the best of my abilities. So these are what they say. You can communicate. These are nowadays, this type of AI are at the center. So people search on this and they are checking its reliability, its validity, and even its best usage in educational setting. So also people are developing the platform to check either these texts are derived from, some texts are derived from this app or not. So to just identify this type of like the whatever the auto generated text we can easily track. So simply by posting over here, so like, have you generated this text, and we just post that identify easily. So that means we can ask this same text to this machine so that they identify either they have generated this text or not. So or there are other app also available. So this is what we can see in the available AI tools. So if I talk about AI models, so I will be in brief. Like there are various models, and various author have defined differently, and various type of models have been in practice. One is like the feed-forward neutral model and recurrent neutral mode network, and not model network. So convolution neutral network, generative adversarial network model like the transformer model, reinforcement learning model, so pre-trained language model. So I do not talk much about this model. So if I talk about AI tools and platforms for education, we can see various adaptive learning platform. You can see, and you can also go further and ask, or you can develop this idea. What is exactly this one? Intellectual tutoring systems, virtual reality, also augmented reality, automated essay grading system that are also available, chatbot and virtual assistants, language learning app, data analytic and learning, that's analytics, content creation and curation tool, plagiarism detection tool, automated administrative system, and AI chats that I have just shared. So these are some of the applications that have been used in education sectors in recent trend. So how AI is being used in education means, very first thing is for personalized learning. Nowadays there is the slogan like, you can learn in your own pace, time, and also in your own speed. So you can personalize your ways of learning. So for that reason, AI is being used. For adaptive learning, you can use this, you can also to understand. In some cases, you need some additional time, and you have some difficulties of learning. So in that case also, you can use other resources to use. So you can use adaptive learning model to know this one. For gamification learning, so AI has been used in these areas. Like we can see a various app, like the quizzes and other form of the app that focuses on gamification. And even you can create in the Google form and other areas as also some game. So learning through game, so that are also possible with AI. So virtual and augmented reality has been used, or we can create this one. And also learners can have certain experience on this, and they can explore new world and learn in new ways. AI powered tutor also can be seen everywhere. Like nowadays, in some of the YouTube channels, they have the AI integration, where they identify what sort of the content you are searching, even in Facebook, even in Google, what type of content you are seeking. So they pop up based on that. They have that type of AI detection processes. So chatting with AI, as I told, so there are various apps, but now three AI tool about from Microsoft Teams, like the Bing Chat, from OpenAI, about ChatGPT, and from Google Brad. These are three AI tools for chatting. You can chat, you can ask the question, they respond. So these are some of the tools that are being used in education system. So some of the benefited, these are just preliminary, because still I'm thinking, I'm working on other benefited, but these are very few. So very first thing is increase personalization of learning. You can learn in your own pace, speed, and also you can create the content for each students based on their level of understanding. Increase in engagement, because you keep on asking something, and within fun and engaging way, so that students might be benefited and learn better. Increase that efficiency. So this efficiency help them, there might be certain automated tasks within automated due duration, so they must have to do on deadline. So that might be also possible, so which helps to increase our this efficiency while we are learning or assigning some tasks, and increase assist to education. Because when you have this type of tool, and you can use this AI to use in various areas, that is not limiting to the urban, but also in remote area, learner can use, or who have certain disabilities can also able to use AI in their education system, their learning processes. So challenges of AI is, very first thing is, some nowadays it are the tools which are pop up, or which are the hot topics, they are freely available, but the various version might be different. But in future, I do hope we have to pay certain charge for using them. So that may be expensive to use, or sometimes if we able to develop some type of AI, then also it is very difficult to implement and maintain. But if you attempt, that might be not the big challenge. Data privacy is another issue of the AI in this sector, and even some countries in Europe, they already banned AI because of this data privacy. Because, and also there is certain biases, because the people, the content which are posted by the only those who posted the content, only that type of content are can be seen in this type of AI system. So which is unfair treatment of the students, because the students are from different culture, different diversification, different location, and that might not be helpful for them if you identify some content. So job displacement is also one of the issue, because whatever you ask, they just reply in a very short duration of time. So this may be one dimension. These are some of the challenges that I think at this stage. So if we talk about the AI, in how we could able to, how can we prepare teachers for the role of AI in education, means there are four different dimensions. One might be for providing certain training on how to use AI tool, or how we can able to develop our own AI tool. That is also possible. We can encourage teachers to experiment with AI tool and technologies which may help them to do the smart work rather than hard work. And also it creates the opportunity for teachers to collaborate on AI use, collaboration on the use of AI in education system. And it also support teacher in the development of new teaching practices that incorporate AI. So I think we are at the very beginning level to talk, but also there are various studies have been done in AI sector, and also AI use of AI in education setting. If you see some resources, so what are the ethical consideration of using AI in education? Very first thing is privacy, as I told before before also. Like privacy is one of the central concern, because this type of mechanism share the information what they detect everywhere, so we can find that one. And there is the issue of fairness, because the ways the information, the information they share are not based on the topographic and other areas, though who post or though who are in the center, that type of information only we could see. Accountability is another issue, transparency is also another issue, and there is no human control. So this type of issue are emerging, and that are very challenging. So future of AI in education is this is all about the revolutionize in education and make it more effective and accessible. We can use this AI in personalized learning, adaptive learning, virtual reality, and augmented reality, even for machine learning. So machine was sorry for that, and chatbot and other many more areas, and still more areas are there to use AI. So there are more innovation and transformative uses of AI in education in future. So let's see what will happen in future. So thank you. These are some of the references I have used for this presentation. So thank you so much for your time and listening to my initial ideas about the use of AI. I have shared in general about AI, but in future talk we'll talk about a specific AI tool, and also some strategy to search and other areas. So with this, I would be happy to answer any questions you have about AI in education.
Okay, thank you very much, Niraj Dal sir, for your wonderful presentation. I have also got some idea about the AI. I think Amish Shrestha is interested about this AI. I think he might have asked the questions to Sudarshan Limbu or to Niraj Dal sir. I don't know. Amir sir, can you ask the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am concerned about the creativity of the students. I think AI can lead the students copy paste habit. Yeah. So how can we teachers address such habit of the students? My students copy paste all the questions of the book from AI. So how can we face such challenges? It's a challenging, isn't it, sir?
Okay,
Okay.
like yeah, this might be the one of the issue about the use of AI, especially text generating AI. So like the chatting AIs, I think you are talking about that one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if
yes, sir, yes, sir.
yeah, so in I think in that part you may think of different dimension of using the you can engage students in different way. Rather than simply writing the text, you can ask them for some performative ways of uh, performance. लाइक भनेको अर्थ तपाईँले लेख्ने काम भन्दा लेख्ने कामको केही पार्टलाई राख्न सक्नुहुन्छ. सो आई थिङ्क यु आर टकिङ अबाउट स्कुल एजुकेसन 9-10 स्टुडेन्ट्स इज इट अर 9-10 को
Yes,
स्टुडेन्टको कुरा गर्दा
second level students,
ओके
9 to
9-10
12.
okay 9 to 12 को कुरा गर्दा हुन्छ. सो आई थिङ्क इन द्याट केस यु मे युज अदर डिमेन्सन, स्पेसली यु डु नट जस्ट बिलिभ अन राइटिङ टास्क, अलिकति पर्फर्मिङ टास्कहरू पनि युज गर्नुभयो भने द्याट डेफिनेटली हेल्प यु फर्दर. अलिकति काम गर्न सल्लो गर्छ. But also we may talk later. अरू पार्ट के हुन सक्छन् also we may discuss. At this stage, I just said this one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Same
Okay,
Bhusal.
Amir sir. Okay, Niruddal sir,
Yeah,
you're
okay, thank
finished. I think one thing can also be done. So far is my experience. If they are writing something using AI, we may ask students to write their in their own word in a reflective manner what they have done, yeah, in the activities, and if they reflect the learning that they have done during the activities, and that will also prevent much more of copying and pasting from what AI do. So sometimes students try to copy everything from AI. Yeah. So in that case, like ChatGPT, so in that case, if you ask students to write what you have done from the beginning to the end of the activities, then that will also help students to use their own creative writing, even though they will copy some uh, text from AI. So far, my experience. Okay, Amir sir, did you get me?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, okay. You can change the strategy because the technology has come up in different areas, and we are using the other areas. That means we are continuing what we have been doing previously. That may not work in this is time, so we have to rethink on that way. So another question, and this question might be the last. So like,
Yeah, Khem
so what?
Bhusal sir has asked the question. You can see in the chat box
Yeah,
also.
yeah, I just want to read it. Like, what do you think about that? Whether AI could replace human effort or may make women more to work on complex situation, complex issues. So I think this is both. In some cases, it may help to replace the human effort by just we are believing in hard work. That that hard work might be changed to smart work, and in some cases, the human can only able to solve some issues because this. Uh, AI tool are also developed by the human, and human are at the center, not AI at the center. So with this, I want to thank you all of you. So I'm doing little fast because I have another class at 6. So with this, I want to stop here. Thank you so much. So over to Indra sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Niruddal sir, because we are running out of the time, and I especially thank to all the valued participants who participate today. This webinar series always goes on in the same time, so we can meet again once again in the next coming Friday. And I also request all of you to share this about this Kusod webinar series in your network, so that uh, many people across the country as well as across the world get benefited of the practices that our students and we Kusodian are practicing, and that will certainly will add some values to those who are actually not able to get access of such type of information as well as learning. So thank you very much once again.
So
Goodbye from our team.
yeah, Indra sir, just one question. As Deepak sir is there from US, so we have to offer him some minute to say something. Deepak sir, we may meet in Pokhara very soon. Will you able to speak something?
Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, it's all good. Thank you. I was a little disappointed because I was hoping that you will be talking about the status of AI in Nepal education, but your focus was different. So I totally understand that. But yeah, I mean, I really have nothing to say. But thank you for the time. We will meet next week in Pokhara, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure,
It
sure.
was a
Thank
nice presentation. Thank you.
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, thank you all of you. So have a nice weekend. See you on next week.